Hi everyone, it's Karen here and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new art journaling tutorial using Marabu sprays, which I recently got and I just really love. And I also use a lot of different stencils from several companies and just created a really fun background. This is really easy to make, nothing fancy or very complicated about it. I am working in my Joggles 6x9 disc-bound journal, and I took a page out of the journal because it's much easier to work when something is flat, especially if you're spraying with it. I started spraying a couple of colors onto the background, the sunshine yellow and the Reseda, and mix them together and then heat set this first layer. It's really important to heat set between layers, that way the colors don't blend into each other because the Marabu sprays are permanent once they're dry. The next color I added was Tangerine, and I used a different stencil to add a different pattern. I heat set this as well. Then I took a number stencil from the Crafter's Workshop, and using the raspberry color I started adding a little bit of this nice fuchsia looking color into the background. I went in certain areas and just added a little bit of that spray to create that distressed look. I heat set this layer as well. Then I went in with another stencil, and I will definitely list all the stencils that I used and all the products that I used below in the description area. This time I used the Caribbean color and I created another pattern in the background. I love creating these really fun patterns by adding lots of different types of stencils. The last stencil that I used was a stencil by Joggles, and I will list it below. I don't remember the name. And I used the Aubergine color, which is a dark purple, almost like eggplant color, and I covered everything. This is almost like a mask and a stencil all in one, and I covered the whole area, and when I lifted, it left a really cool pattern in the background. I just thought this was really cool, and all I had to do was let it dry. Once it was dry, I could doodle with some markers. When it dried, it kind of dried burgundy because it had a little bit of a different color underneath. And I guess when it dries on top, it dries darker. So instead of drying in that eggplant color, it almost looked like a burgundy color. And I still really like that. I took a Sharpie marker. This is a white paint-like Sharpie marker. And I started outlining all the shapes on the background, only the burgundy shapes, the purple ones, and left everything else the same. I highlighted and outlined all the shapes on the background because I wanted it to look as if they were part of the design. And this was just fun to do because it's almost like doodling. I really didn't want to complicate this background. I really wanted to show that it can be done very simply by just adding sprays and stencils, and not much needs to be done to it. So this is how I left it. I really like the pattern and I thought it was really cool looking, so I just figured I will just leave it the way it is. The only thing that I did is grab a couple of Tim Holtz small talk words and added a sentiment to the background. Finally, just because I really don't know how to stop sometimes, I took a little bit of the white impasto paint, and using one of the Crafter's Workshop stencils, I created a pattern at the edges of the art journal going vertically and horizontally. I use a sponge to create these really cool patterns, and that helped to frame the words and create movements towards the center of my layout. I used some Prima Finnabair soft matte gel to just seal the words to the background using the gel because the stickers were not sticking on properly and I didn't want them to become loose when I put it back in my journal. So I just added a little bit of gel to just seal them to the background. Finally, I took the black Marabu art crayon and I went ahead and created a border around the edges of the art journal page. All I did is just outline and border and then blend it with my finger until it creates a border around the whole art journal page. I also took my black POSCA pen and just outlined the words in black. I chose this art journal because I wanted to have all the layouts in this journal to be horizontal because I wanted to have spreads that are going lengthwise. So this is another one of the art journaling pages that I created for this journal, and you can watch more of the video tutorials from the art journal pages that I created in this disc-bound journal. I went back with my white marker and I created a little bit more doodling inside the pattern. Then I took the page and put it back in the journal. It's really easy to just pop it back in. And that's why I love this journal, because you can take it out so easily, work on a flat surface, and then pop it back in and have your journal ready to go for the next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends on social media. For more inspiration, subscribe to my channel or visit me on my website. Thank you so much and have an amazing day. Bye!